Good morning to you all. In today's video I have been tasked with said area. Yep, it's the first thing we see when we drive in, and orders from HQ is to sort that out today. I'm to stop everything and get that sorted. So I think what I plan to do is maybe put a patio there, a little bit bigger than the pathways that I used in front of the cottages, somewhere for table and chairs. So what we've got underneath these tiles, some granite steps that I made up to the doorway there. So this is elderflower. As much as we like the elderflower, it grows quite rampant, and yeah, it's not the best thing to have in this position, so that's got to go. I'm just assessing what materials I've got to hand. Now the stone is at a premium really, because I'm using it inside on the retaining wall in the cottage. Now I've got some beams that I might be able to incorporate as an edging. Some oak beams, they can look quite nice and rustic. First we've got to get rid of the elder, all the brambles, level the area, and then we'll work on our perimeter. So much potential, this cottage. Got some beautiful stonework and some architectural elements on this one. So at least now we can see what we're dealing with. It's got to be levelled. Gonna remove some more stone and just basically level it all off. Now I did try to persevere with growing this elderflower tree for obvious reasons. You know, we use the elderflowers, the berries off them, but unfortunately it's at the point where there's a vine, there's ivy and brambles, and being realistically, you know, with the management of this plot, can't keep on top of everything. So I think I'm going to have to let this one go, and then that way I won't have the problems with the brambles and the ivy climbing up it and then going up the building again. Seems such a shame to, you know, cover up this beautiful cottage, so we're not going to. We're going to make a nice area here, and that way the first thing we come in and see is a lovely terraced area. Got mainly all the weeds out of it. There's a few here and there. We are going to membrane on top. So yeah, this was all the spoils that come out of the cottage floor, so there's just so much of it. When you see it on the ground in the cottage, it's X amount of cubic metres, but it ain't until you break it up and loosen it, yeah, seems like there's tons of it. Okay, it's come in handy though. Let's build this level up. This needed to be raised. Just got some ivy along here to do, so difficult to eradicate. Maybe try some salt and vinegar, washing up liquid mixed up, poured into the places where it grows. But I did notice that the elder here, the tree, was kind of damaging the base of this wall, so not really ideal. So just here you can make out the roots go into the wall. It's not good. okay on a property, you know, if it's all nicely pointed and there's no holes for anything to grow in. But these sort of buildings, I wouldn't advise having ivy anywhere near it. It's just too invasive. They can grow in the tiniest of little holes. I think because there's a lot of clay infill in the building, these old properties, I think it's easy for it to get its roots into that clay and grow. Spreading the sand over the clay does two things. It levels the clay off and fills all the indentations and dips. And it also stops the clay sticking to my boots because it's still drizzling and it becomes rather treacherous underfoot once you've got clay on your boots. It's nice and level now, ready for the crushed stone to go on top. And there is a lean-to at the end of the cottage. That isn't staying, that will come down eventually, but for now it is. But what I plan to do is maybe extend the patio around the corner where the lean-to is at the moment, so yeah, we'll have a bigger patio around that side. On the way to pick up the crushed stone from the builder's merchants, I'm going to take all of the green waste away. That's going to the déchetterie. I've done 6 or 7 trailer loads, full trailer loads to the tip in preparation for the farmer coming, so I've cleared all this area. So just to recap, underneath all of this is a nice pile of clay. There's quite a few tons there. He needs it on his farm, so said he can have it. So I've just took a trip to the déchetterie, and wow, what a mountain of greenery we got here. Now all this goes for a shredder, gets recycled and goes back into the community via compost or fund. So So now I've just put some screening bars in, which are these ones. Level them off, put a slight slope away from the building and a slight slope to the left. Now I know that that's exactly the way I want it to run off. So with this section, I've measured it out, 3 slabs. We'll start the timber off there. We'll just run from the edge of that step there. It gives us 3 slabs deep, and the remaining, because the building runs out of true, we'll just have a gravel infill wherever the third one finishes, across the back against the wall. That way it will allow any rain, moisture, water just to run freely down, so it doesn't get trapped against the wall. Another trip to the builder's merchants, our second home. Well, while I was driving there, I was thinking, what else could I use instead of paving slabs? Because I checked out the price of them the other day, and It's over €100, which isn't a lot really for the surface area, but I came back and I thought, I wonder if they could work. Got some tiles just there. So it's these tiles here. Now I roughly know the quantity. I think there's about 500 here. There's roughly 52 square metre, I think. So I could potentially have all I need here. I'm not so sure how slippery they are when they're wet. They don't feel it particularly, so I think they could be suitable for there. It'd save me over €100. It'll diminish this pile that's got to be dealt with. You know, these are the tomats that are going into the cottage, so all this is going to get used. I was going to pave inside the greenhouse, the new one, when I build it, but that might not be this year, it might be spring, so yeah, I'd certainly utilise these. Let's lay some out and see what they look like. Stagger the bond. Yeah, I do have a bit of flexibility with the layout because don't forget I'm putting a gravel border at the back, so it allows me 6 inches of movement front and back there. The sleepers, the timber sleepers here, I can move them where I need them to go, and I can always feel around with some gravel, so it's pretty flexible. They do feel quite grippy actually. I was a bit concerned that they might be slippery, but they don't feel like it. So now I know I've got a beam in this lean-to. Definitely got one there, one underneath. So let's get those out and see what we're dealing with. Okay, so we've got one there. The other two are buried under this pile of wood. So I might have enough. That was the easy bit. Now we've got to get past the caravan. So the next job is to roughly get the timbers where they need to be, level the ground off, do the grading, probably have a step up in the centre because of the height of it. Yeah, we'll just take it from there. The outside looks, you know, like it's really damaged. Second you cut into it, that is like concrete. Now that just kind of holds it in place. It creates a bit of drainage underneath the timber so it's not sitting in water, so it won't rot anywhere near as quick if it's just sitting on the soil or cement. And And then all we'll do either side is haunch it up with some cement, and yeah, that'll be good to go. So what I may have to do here, where I incorporate the step, because this timber and that timber, they couldn't be married up because they're different thicknesses. This one's a lot thinner. So what I've had to do, I've got an offcut of oak for the riser, and then I'll join that to that end, and then that way it'll even out the thickness difference. So what I'll just have to do is extend the paving into this a little bit more. That's okay, it could be gravel, not a problem. But this next step, I was thinking maybe I'll use that big stone I've got down the end. Maybe if I find another beam or an offcut of beam somewhere, I can lay it flat, so that can be our first step up. This is just too thick. I'll get this out of the way. Yeah, that might be an option. Yeah, let's go and see what I can find. Maybe this one. It's 750. I'll cut it and see what it looks like. Yeah, I think that might work. I can always change it, but for now I'm going to go with that. If I'm not happy with it, I'll find something else, I'll use something else, but for now that is our step up. Now don't forget the gravel will be coming up to the bottom of that as well. It will sit on a nice bed of crushed stone and mortar. So before I proceed with the timber sleepers, I need to establish whether or not I'm going to use those small little tiles that I've already got, or whether I'm going to use bigger slabs, because they're different thicknesses. So, well, what do we think? A keeper. Okay, whilst I ponder whether to proceed with these, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Carol and Kelly. They bought some merchandise on the last video. I mentioned my website shop. All the merchandise, the mugs, the tote bags, the caps, t-shirts, they all go to fund the project, so thank you very much. Everyone as well that watches the video, you'll play a big part in it, all my patrons and buy me coffees. It really is appreciated and does help me progress with this. Without you I can't do it, so yeah, thank you very much. Okay, that's as much as I can do today. It's about to pour down. I'll block the drive off. See me in the next video to see whether or not I proceeded with these tiles. Thanks for watching.